Hello, welcome back, and look at what we have over here. A lot of volatility. It's pretty nice to see, especially if you were able to take advantage of these dips over here. Am I live? I'm live. Bitcoin is at $82,410. That is pretty impressive considering the fact that literally just yesterday we were suffering with a drop as low as, what is this, 74,600 is the lowest point we reached yesterday. Practically almost the exact point right over here. I unfortunately put a trigger order right on that low point, but we didn't reach that low this time. I adjusted the uptrend, which it was slightly off. It was kind of like this, which I think in the long term it still serves its purpose, right? You can still agree that Bitcoin is still in that uptrend. If you want to know what uptrend I'm talking about the August 5th and September 6th, September 7 increase. This is one day ahead. I think it's using Singapore time. That's probably why. But yeah, this still looks like a valid uptrend. Wouldn't you agree? And we also did not dip lower than this red line, which is crucial. Why? Because this line is the all-time high that we had in 2024 early on. Later on, we did manage to break that. This was in November, thanks to Donald Trump victory, reaching us to a high of 100 and almost $110,000. No big deal. And from there, though, we have been trending downwards. Why is this not adjusted properly? Slight adjustments there. Yeah, we are still technically overshadowed by this downtrend, right? I think it's still valid, very valid. But we're getting close each time, and the longer we stay within these two, like, trends, right? Which one is longer is what you're going to have to ask yourself. You're out of these two trend lines that you're seeing, the one from top to bottom versus the one from bottom to top. Which one is steeper? Which one is shorter? That is the one that is likely to break, and that is looking like it's going to be the downtrend. Bitcoin breakout very, very soon. I need water. All right. So we're almost there. We're almost there. And by the time that these two converge, what month are we in by then? That would be May. A breakout is absolutely going to happen by May. Now, we had some fundamentals today that pumped the price of Bitcoin from this scarily low point of $75,000, $76,000 all the way to a high of, what did we reach? 83? Yeah, 83,565 today. Slowing down near this pivot area, right? This is in the daily chart. It's going to be different when we look at the hourly chart. So that pivot point is looking at 84,000, which is where we have some resistance here. You can kind of see that by the look of these candlesticks, right? Some rejection over here with the wick, I guess what you would call out of the candle. Too much of a wick, smaller body, and the next one is red, which would probably mean we would probably have to correct because price cannot go up forever. It has to correct, right? Whether it be from down to up or up to down, in a steep drop like that, it has to recover in some form, right? So I'm thinking we might see some price decay over time. If we do drop, I'm hoping we are able to maintain at least this zone, 80,000. Worst case scenario, 79,600. We might bleed under 80,000 because, I mean, we've been well under 80,000 for this period of time right over here. So it's nothing new to us at this point. 73,000 was, oh yeah, this is the all-time high of 2024. I should add that. ATH. G. Great, there we go. So, yeah, for now, we are maintaining this area pretty well. Resistance here, like I said, but we might see some price decay. If we do pump above that, I would be looking at, first of all, the super trend, which is looking at 85,400, and that would also kind of coincide with the downtrend line that we do have right over here. If, let's just say, the next day, tomorrow, day after, we do continue rising, I think we're going to see a major slowdown. First of all, 84,000 and 85,000 major resistances here. So it's going to be a little difficult to break out of that. The next one after that, we might get some room to run up to 87,000. But by then, I would assume that the week would be over. Right over here, 13th of April. That's already heading into weekend territory, I'm pretty sure. It is, yeah, that's a Sunday. Am I getting sick? I think I might be getting sick. I hope not. Really hope not. I don't want to get sick. But yeah. If we do bleed out under 80,000, we're looking at this zone over here. And I seriously, this time I'm going to say it. I don't think we're going to drop under this zone anymore. If you missed your chance to buy, which was over here, that's too bad. I mean, maybe you'll have one more chance. Could be. I wouldn't doubt it. But this uptrend, it's looking very solid. It was slightly broken. I did have to slightly readjust it. But nonetheless, like, if you zoom out, it still looks like it's totally still supposed to be there, right? It still looks perfectly fine and healthy. The fact that we're bouncing up from here, that's pretty perfect in terms of technical analysis point of view, right? So that's what we have right now for Bitcoin. 8% rise today, 82,500. That's pretty good. We don't have a golden cross yet either, which is another reason why I am still thinking we're going to have some difficulty breaking out of these levels. The main reason we did break out of 80,000 very sharply all the way to right before 84, so 83,000 was our highest point. It was because of the fundamentals that we got today in terms of tariffs, in terms of China, in terms of Trump, what they did. We're going to get into all of that in just a moment. Let's have a look at the other coins. Major winner today, surprisingly, is Ethereum to 13% rise, 1,645. I know that still looks like a horrible number, and it is a horrible number, because before this, we used to see Ethereum minimum 1,700 on a really bad day, let's just say. But we broke far under here, and I got liquidated, actually, on one of my positions here. So I lost money on this drop, yes. It sucks, but it's whatever. Support 3 was hit. $1,384.30 was the lowest point of Ethereum just last night. And that was painful to see, but it is what it is. Rose up again, hit the first resistance over here. It was technically supposed to be a support, just to show you how significantly we dropped with Ethereum. So we're seeing some slowdown over here, and if we do see some price decay, we would hopefully take us no lower than 1,600. I'm hoping we are able to maintain ourselves above that level before we start continuing to, pump. As I mentioned, the two moving averages are still not crossed. We don't have a golden cross, right? So the probability of a down movement is still here, especially for something like Ethereum. We don't have an uptrend anymore. It's over. Maybe I could force myself to find one, but I don't think that's really appropriate here, right? When is this? April 2020? Even if I draw one from here, it's not even going to look that good. And no, you agree this does not look good, right? Ignore it. We're going to have to find a new one, find a new way of making an uptrend here. Probably starting from this low point if we are able to drop no lower than 1,400 ever again in the history of Ethereum, then it should be, an actual uptrend being drawn without any problems. But for now, there's none yet. This steep downtrend is still in place, so that's what we've got right now. It seems like it's a very long-term downtrend, but it really isn't. And that's our next point to break right over there. This line no longer works. I'm going to remove the fib zones. Yeah, it's all dependent on breaking out of this downtrend right over here. Then we got our pivots and resistances again from here on up. Still a long way to go for Ethereum, so careful with what you're betting for over here. Similar deal with Solana. It had a very low point of 95. I think I covered this, did I? Was I here 7th of April? I think I was, yes. That was a very low point. Solana actually didn't drop as much the next day, right? Yesterday. And today it managed to rise a good 13% rise, $117. Reached a high of what is this, 120, meeting that first resistance we have over here for the pivots. Did I just move something? I did. And that pivot slowed down at 121, of course. So we cannot reach any higher than that. And in terms of decaying over here, this could be an important support. It's worked twice. Okay, so I'm probably going to keep this drawn over here. What is this line for? Irrelevant. I'm going to remove... We'll just shift it upwards, I guess. That's likely where we would drop if we are to drop. This uptrend is gone for Solana as well. Solana's lost its uptrend. Ethereum has lost its uptrend. XRP probably hasn't. I think I could just readjust this. Or draw from... I don't even think this looks any good. No, it's also lost its uptrend, I would say. So a lot of altcoins have entered bear market territory, technically speaking. But does that mean that, you know, the Bitcoin bull run is over? I really don't think so. I think this is second half. We're loading up and we're going to continue rising from here after May. Not immediately, right? I'm not saying we're going to like hit 90,000 again, 100,000, 110,000. It's going to take a while. We're probably going to stay around this zone. It seems like 70, like late 70 to early 80,000 is where we will be chilling out, right? Until eventually some fundamental has to happen. We break out. It has to be towards the upside. Like it just has to be. Otherwise, there's no more bull run. I hate to admit it, but that would... M2 money supply says the opposite, so let's just hope that that is right. And technically speaking, like I said, with these two trend indicators, it should be heading upwards next. Right on. SUI is $2.19. Slowed down right over here at $2.29 approximately. $2.28.54 was its highest point. Similar deal with what Solana did, right? It didn't drop as much as the first day, April 7. April 8's drop was not as significant, causing SUI to rise a high percentage of 16%, reaching to 19. Slowing down at the moment here. These Fibonacci zones are no longer valid, and I'm pretty sure we've also lost an uptrend over here. What do you mean there's a problem with my network? Yeah. We've lost an uptrend there for SUI as well. Practically entering bear market territory. But, like I said, bull market is not necessarily over. Next coin is Litecoin. It's up 12%, reached 75 right now. Highest point was 78. Lowest point was similar to Solana and SUI from April 7. $63 was the low point. Similar deal here, and this was done much earlier. Litecoin has already lost its uptrend, and similar deal with Cardano as well. Also lost its uptrend. Low point 51 on April 7, 51 cents. April 8 didn't drop as much, still a little bit low, 53. Today it rose to 60, what is this? 64 cents. We're at 62 cents right now. 14% increase nonetheless. It seems like, you know, this movement is not even that much, but it's actually a large percentage, realistically speaking. So, yeah, I mean, overall a great day for cryptocurrency, for the stock market as well. They rallied today, and it was all based off of the news that Donald Trump was making some changes to the tariffs that he announced on Liberation Day. Just goes to show how unpredictable this whole thing is. Like, one day he'll say one thing, one day he'll say another thing. So we'll never really know. All right, starting off with some news now. Black Monday, thankfully, did not happen. Inverse Kramer worked again. Whatever Jim Cramer says, do the opposite. Confirmed. This time I'll never doubt it. Now, China says that the US, they're saying, oh, you guys aren't serious about trade talks, and they warned the United States that intimidation, threats, and blackmail are not the way to engage. China and the rest of the world are determined to fight a trade war to the end. That is at least what Xi Jinping thinks. Amazon has joined the fight, kind of. They're suspending some inventory orders from China due to tariffs. A lot of tariff increases between the two, China and United States. And also, suspiciously enough, apparently Ukraine has caught two Chinese citizens fighting alongside Russia in the Ukraine war. China sending military troops to Russia to fight Ukraine. Same thing that North Korea did. That's not good. I'm pretty sure Zelensky is expecting a response from Trump, but I'm pretty sure Trump wants nothing to do with Ukraine anymore after what happened last time at the White House with Zelensky. Speaking more of China, though, like it seems like it is at this point the United States against China. U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth threatens China and vows to take back the Panama Canal. He says that China did not build this canal. China does not operate this canal, and China will not weaponize this canal. Together we will take back the canal from China's influence, is what he said. Apparently it was the United States who built it anyway, so they were going to take it back. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says that delisting Chinese stocks is on the table. That's a pretty bold claim here. Because we do have some Chinese stocks, right? PDD Holdings, Alibaba. Temu, I think, is from PDD. What else do they have? JD.com, BYD. Those Chinese stocks, right? They're likely going to be delisted, potentially. I mean, I don't know. Depending on how severe the trade war gets, that could be the case. I mean, China is... I don't think I included the news here. I swear I did, but I apparently don't have it. They have been selling U.S. bonds, right? Which that's supposed to affect the United States. So the United States, of course, on top of the fact that China has increased their tariffs as well. Do I have that? Yeah, they here. So China announced an additional 84% tariff on U.S. good, which escalated the trade tensions. And from that caused this big outrage, and this is the cause of yesterday's drop, pretty much. Trump, around like noon, said that he has just raised his tariffs on China to 104% from originally something, I think it was 30%. Officials from the White House says that this will be effective immediately at midnight. But there was an issue, and this is why the markets dropped, is that apparently, I think it was leaked a little bit too early. That 104% additional tariff news was announced that it went into effect at noon. So at 12 o'clock noon, when in reality it was supposed to be 12 o'clock midnight. So people thought, oh, the tariffs have already happened and, you know, caused the market to crash. But apparently, no, they're saying that it was supposed to be by the next day, right? April 9. That's what happened, causing the markets to drop. America holds all the cards in the US-China tariff showdown, and here's the reason why. Trump just hit China with 54% tariffs. That's what the percentage was. He's threatening to jack it up to 104% if she doesn't back down. But here's the kicker. The numbers don't lie. China's $300 billion trade surplus with the US is about to become their biggest weakness. A high tariff hits them way harder than it hits the United States. Basic math, the media seems to have forgotten. They need our market more than we need their stuff, is basically what he's saying here. Thank you. With most countries, Trump wants to eliminate tariffs. That's what reciprocal is about. All current deals are lopsided subsidies. Made sense during the Cold War, not now. Trump, the art of the deal, of course, playing a major part of this. I have read this as well, so yeah. Countries from Argentina to Vietnam are falling all over themselves to cut 0-0 tariff deals with Trump. Even the European Union is on it, though their offer is a little weaker than it needs to be. But China's is different. Almost said China hits different. China is our top geopolitical enemy. They openly talk about attacking us even with nuclear and biological weapons, and they've endlessly used unfair trade practices to drive American businesses under. Now Trump means to turn the screws, and she can't back down even if he wants to. He sold himself as the guy who stands up to America. It's like, since the tariffs were announced, Xi Jinping was always like, we're not going to succumb to the United States, right? Anyway, this caving to Trump now would be a political suicide, right? Talk about being backed into a corner. Bombshell. 70 countries are already lining up to negotiate free or close to free trade deals with the US. Meanwhile, China stuck with its fight to the end stance, right? That's what they announced, and now they can't back down from what they announced. They made a big mistake, and Trump said that from the beginning. And today is when Trump showed the markets why it was a big mistake. Trump's not just targeting China directly, he's hitting countries they use for transshipping, Southeast Asia, with 50% tariffs. Countries like Vietnam are already seeking a zero tariff deal with the US. Blocking Chinese cheating will be key. China's nuclear option, rare earth controls, isn't as powerful as they think. That's interesting to know. Trump's already working on short-term alternatives, but longer-term, that's what a lot of Greenland and Ukraine are about. Chess, not checkers. Wall Street is crying about market drops, but Trump's playing the long game, saying that, sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something, is what he said. And he's not wrong. Bottom line, she's trapped in a corner of his own making, while Trump's got a full deck of cards to play. Again, the analogy of the cards. You don't have the cards, Zelensky. Anyway, this isn't the end. This isn't ending anytime soon. But we know who's holding the stronger hand. And that's it. So, obviously, United States would have come out on top of this, and it did. CoffeeZilla was calling out Donald Trump for possibly instigating insider trading here. He said, he posted in a Truth Social this morning, "This is a great time to buy DJT." He put the DJT after the exclamation marks. I don't know if he meant buy DJT stock. He has a stock, right, on the market. If we look up DJT, it did actually go up a lot today. Although it may not seem like a lot, but yeah, believe me, it is a lot. Imagine this, like all this drop over here surviving the scare of potentially Black Monday. That didn't happen. Today it rose, what, 22%? Yeah. This is market manipulation. He said that 3 hours before announcing this in a Truth Social post, and this is the reason why everything went up today. Donald Trump says this: "Based on the lack of respect that China has shown to the world's markets, I am hereby raising the tariff charged to China by the United States of America to 125%. Okay, forget that 104% tariff. He raised it to 125%. If you want to import something into America from China, it's going to cost double and a little more, a quarter more, effective immediately. Now, that in itself would be bad news. Oh, the trade war escalates. China's putting more, US is putting more, and it keeps on escalating each time. But here's the catch. He's saying that at some point, hopefully in the near future, China will realize that the days of ripping off the USA and other countries is no longer sustainable or acceptable. Conversely, and based on the fact that more than 75 countries have called representatives of the United States, including the Departments of Commerce, Treasury, and the USTR, to negotiate a solution to the subjects being discussed relative to trade barriers, tariffs, currency manipulation, and non-monetary tariffs, and that these countries have not, at my strong suggestion, retaliated in any way, shape, or form against the United States, I have authorized a 90-day pause and a substantially lowered reciprocal tariff during this period of 10%, also effective immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He's paused the tariffs for every other country except for China and has escalated that tariff percentage to 125% for China only. So the markets rallied because of the fact that, okay, for the rest of the countries, it's no longer a thing. It just seems to be between the US and China, we can kind of breathe. Kind of. It's still, in my opinion, supposed to be like maybe bad, because this happened in 2018 as well, right? when Trump initially put tariffs on China. So, yeah, I don't know. And I mean, he did tell you guys, hey, buy today. It's a great time to buy because later on he announces this and everything rallies, right? That's the state of the market for you. The only country, well, it says that upon Trump's strong suggestion not to retaliate, nobody actually retaliated except for China. That's why he went with a heavy hand toward China. Every other country has called to negotiate some form of a stop to these. The European Union, they were close to retaliating, but nothing yet. They were proposing imposing between 10 and 25% tariffs on US goods, apparently. But nothing is confirmed as of yet. And Trump has been also saying, like, everything is going to work out well, guys. Just believe in Trump. All right, global M2 money supply. New updates. We have recovered by here, so this should be higher. Do we have a updated chart? I want to check. Nope. Yes, Trump was helping us insider trade. It's like Trump is trying to make the rich poorer and the poor richer. That's us, giving us this opportunity of buying, and even told, hey, the normal person that reads this, now is a great time to buy because I'm about to pump the markets and you don't know that. So, yeah. Do we have any other updated chart? Correlation to MicroStrategy. It's not relevant. Is this it? No, not necessarily. I don't think there's an updated chart. But anyway, this is the current one that we're seeing, right? There's likely going to be a sideways period for a while, right? At least that's what M2 Money Supply is predicting. It's not going to be accurate. I think we're already above this. This chart is showing us Bitcoin's price at 77,000. We're already like up to wherever this line is, right over here, right? So we have already risen in price. And that's already like not following what we're currently see, but it's fine still. I think we're still going to be within this period because of that downtrend that I was telling you guys about, right? So that's likely going to still be the case. We can stay within this zone for a while. You're seeing that M2 money supply does not drop lower than this, right? Meaning that Bitcoin also should not drop lower than whatever this is. First of all, it's the all-time high that's keeping the bull run alive of 2024, and the uptrend as well from 2024, where this is what matters the most. Bitcoin will rise, Ethereum will follow, it's going to form a new uptrend, and altcoins will also follow that. Bitcoin will make its all-time high. It will reach even higher levels than what we would expect. And then people will start taking their profits at Bitcoin, probably $200,000, maybe, just saying, I don't know. And by then, Bitcoin will fall. But people are, okay, well, Bitcoin's a little too expensive. People have already made money on Bitcoin. I wish I bought at 82,000. I'm just going to buy altcoins. And that's when alt season starts. Bitcoin dominance will drop. Alts will start rising as well. And that chart with Ethereum against Bitcoin, it'll probably start reversing as well. Finally, hopefully. Ethereum is just such a weak coin right now. Also goes to confirm the reason why altcoins in general are suffering. So yeah, there's your M2 supply update. I didn't read all this, so maybe I should. So I think I did read this. No, this is April. This is today. What am I doing? So the mini rally that fails worked perfect. It was predicted even from before, right? The next period of a sideways movement in the global M2, will that lead to a sideways bleeding period for Bitcoin, the white box in the middle of this image? I think we'll keep around over here. Very similar to this. There's a lot of global uncertainty right now with Trump's tariffs and China refusing to negotiate. Yes, I believe this correlation chart holds true even through that, especially the M2 pump on the right side. Right? Remember, M2 chart has been pushed forward by 108 days. That means that all of the M2 data already happened 108 days ago. 108 days is apparently the delayed reaction of how long it takes for money to circulate through the global economy until it finds its way into risk assets on average. M2 is about 80% correlated, not 100%, with this 108-day shift. It will deviate 20% of the time, and that's kind of what we're seeing right now. We started off a little bit lower, and now we're going to be a little bit higher than that yellow line once this chart gets updated, because Bitcoin is 82,000 right now. So some slight changes, but it's not going to be exactly perfect, but it gives you a general idea of where the market is headed. We're likely going to get another mini pump like this, or maybe the current pump that we're seeing is that, and it's just a little bit early. Who knows, right? It's not going to be 100% accurate is the bottom line. The popular 70 to 80 day offset, that's the original version of it. Many have been using that and it's been proven incorrect. I've seen a number of people copying the 108-day shift, presenting it as their own, some even going so far as to remove watermarks. Yeah, I'm not doing that, by the way. It's all thanks to this guy, Colin Talks Crypto, so full credit goes to him for discovering this M2 money chart. And I'm very happy that this is all just working out. It's a great discovery. It's such a good correlation. It's genius. It just makes sense. So congrats on that. And if you want to watch more, of course, there's more information here. There's his handle, his tag, where you could go follow. All right. Some legal news. Department of Justice dismantles their crypto unit as President Trump further reduces regulation of digital assets. This is pretty good, I think. That means that, they're not going to be looking into crypto projects as much with, the intent of bringing it down kind of deal. So they'll start leaving us alone. That'll be good. The SEC, Security Exchanges Commission, approves options trading on spot Ethereum ETFs. That might be really good. I mean, it is good for Ethereum, of course. You have options trading on the spot ETFs. That's good, right? You could use options for contracts, try to predict where price is going to go. Only have to lose whatever your premium of paying the contract was for. There's also other strategies that you can use with it, so it's pretty useful and it's good. What I'm more excited about, though, and it hasn't happened yet, is ETF staking. That will just make things a lot better. And I would actually even consider buying Ethereum ETFs if, we get that staking approval. First of all, okay, spot Ethereum ETFs, it exists. Cool, that's fine. We have it. We have options trading, and we could also get staking on that. I mean, who wouldn't want to buy Ethereum by then? That'll just be so good. I actually feel an incentive to actually want to buy Ethereum ETFs now. Like before, it's like, okay, cool, yeah, spot Ethereum ETFs, that's great and all. Sure, more people can access purchasing Ethereum and add it to the volume. But other than that, what other purposes have? I mean, if you have access to an exchange, just buy Ethereum, right? Own the asset yourself. Why have another multi-trillion-dollar company hold your assets for you? Sure, maybe it's safer and you can sue them if they're unreliable, but, just to buy your own Ethereum, right? Not your keys, not your coins. Anyway. We have a SEC chair officially confirmed by the Senate. You got Paul Atkins. There you go. This one's interesting. There's a crypto attorney, James A. Murphy. He is suing the Department of Homeland Security. I forget who's the head of that. Department of Homeland Security. Homeland Security. Is it Tulsi Gabbard? Who is head? Christine Noam. I've heard of the name. So this attorney is suing the DHS for documents regarding Satoshi Nakamoto's identity. Satoshi Nakamoto, if you don't know, is the figure behind the invention of Bitcoin back in 2009. I hope. Here's the thing from case filing. Given the massive public and private investment in Bitcoin, it is important for Mr. Murphy and the public to understand better what the federal government knows about the identity of the actor or actors responsible for creating Bitcoin. That'll be cool. What if they finally have to like release the true identity of Satoshi Nakamoto? They're thinking it's this Japanese guy that has his little computer, but no, we don't know. Maybe some people are saying it's probably the NSA. I think I heard it was National Security. And what is NSA? NSA, National Security Agency. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, it could be that. They're the ones behind all that. Who knows? Did you know that China and Russia are settling some trade transactions using Bitcoin, says Vanek? Yeah, Bitcoin has real use case scenarios. I also showed this where CZ from Binance got confirmed into as a crypto counselor for Pakistan. Pakistan is bullish on Bitcoin, and CZ also said that, did you know that Pakistan is the 5th most populous country in the world with an average of age of 24 plus 100% internet coverage. It's an active crypto market. There are roughly 20 million kids not in school, and Giggle Academy could help them learn and get jobs. That's what he's saying. He's going to educate the country about Bitcoin and crypto. That'd be pretty cool. Pakistan buying Bitcoin. We had some dangerous times yesterday and everything, right? Michael Saylor's strategy was at risk at some point here in the last couple hours in the previous day, right? He was close to being forced to sell his Bitcoins. In a recent SEC 8K filing, Strategy said a significant decline in Bitcoin's value might require them to sell at a loss to meet financial obligations. This would include $8.22 billion in debt, $35.1 million in annual interest, $146.2 million in annual preferred stock dividends, $2.28 billion in deferred tax liabilities tied to Bitcoin gains. Maybe that would ruin his whole reputation of never sell Bitcoins legacy, right? That's why it was a little scary, and it was dropping quite significantly. His average price is 67,458, which we were getting considerably close to, right? We were 76,000 at the worst. Luckily, we didn't drop less than 74, right? Oh, we reached 74,000. I lied, sorry. Yeah, that's even worse, right? If this touched over here, yeah, Michael Saylor would have been negative. So that would have been pretty spooky. Remember, he still has 528,000 Bitcoins, so it's not like it really matters anyway, but still selling Bitcoins by Michael's strategy. Yeah, it wouldn't have been a good look, right? So that was a little scary. Trader's getting liquidated. This one's just sad. The trader got liquidated for $100 million yesterday after holding the position for 6 years, according to Arkham. And that was, of course, on no other coin other than Ethereum. Yeah. Yeah, you held Ethereum for that long. You didn't take profits when it was 4K, hoping it would go higher, and then it just so happens to go back down to your, what year would this be? 2019 price? Yeah, that's pretty bad. Bitcoin, I mean, Ethereum reached lows of like where it was in 2018, which is just absurd, right? I showed the post 2 days ago on my last stream about like the differences between Ethereum of, what was it, 8 years ago to the Ethereum of now. Like we have so much more going on with Ethereum, a lot more volume, a lot more TVL. We have ETFs, we have everything now with Ethereum, a lot of institutional interest, a lot of new apps that are solid, decentralized apps, decentralized exchanges. Everything is working fine with Ethereum. But even so, we're dropping significantly. Even the president is pro Ethereum, right? So, yeah. Very, very undervalued Ethereum. Too undervalued. Like, I think it was just way too much overkill. If I think that there's what is the most undervalued coin at the moment in the market, it has to be Ethereum without a doubt. Still, though, would I buy it? Probably not. I've lost more with Ethereum than maybe any other coin. So I would put my bets somewhere else by now. it's got potential significant rise. Like this could rise what, 120%? Let me go to a weekly chart here. Not that far, but from here to our highest point, 150% before we reach our all-time high levels. Compare that to something like Solana. From where we are right now to reach our all-time high over here. Okay, similar. 150% pump is needed. How about Sui? Just going to look at these three for comparison. I think Sui is 145%. Okay. Yeah, they're all pretty similar, actually. Okay, I wouldn't put it past it then. How about XRP? 68% for its all-time high. I could just check this on CoinMarketCap. What am I doing? Just check the percent from its all-time high. Whichever's got a smaller percentage will reach its all-time high quicker, of course, right? Ignore Tether, of course. It's a stable coin. Bitcoin seems to be the most obvious answer. Like, Bitcoin is so, like, it's closer to reaching its all-time high than any of these other coins, right? Ignore this one. Yeah, everything is like 60, 70, 80% down. Yeah, it's just not that good. Alright, anyway. Sucks to be liquidated. I got liquidated too, don't worry. I had a bit of a taste of the liquidation. I maybe spoke too soon when I said, I'm safe. I did not get liquidated. No, I did. It was an accident too. It was absolutely preventable. I was just, I don't know, blinded. Or maybe it's the exchange against me. I don't know. We'll see. What do you mean we'll see? I don't know. Janover stock soars 843% after announcing treasury shift to Solana. I've never heard of Janover stock, so I'm going to look that up. It's JNVR. It's on NASDAQ, and it's down 16% today. But it's up 456% in the past 5 days. What does this company do? Crypto Treasury Insights, Janover Leaders, Yellow Share Expert. Do we have sure, dark mode, yeah. Key executives description is engages in the provision of commercial property financing solutions, operates online platform that connects commercial mortgage borrowers, including owners, operators, and developers of commercial real estate and small business borrowers looking for capital to refinance, build, or purchase commercial properties. Real estate investment trusts. This is what it is then. That's cool. I like real estate investment trusts. REITs. So I want to see the stock over here though. Yeah, that's a crazy pump. Because they added Solana to their treasury. Crypto treasury vehicles is what they talked about. Solana was in there. So there you go. That's pretty cool. Adding Solana as a treasury will make your stock pump. Take notes, Michael Saylor. No, I'm kidding. Bitcoin is fine. Stick with Bitcoin for MicroStrategy. Okay, that's all the news I had. I've been streaming for 43 minutes. Cool. So overall, we're slowing down here. Of course, we don't know if it's going to rise or dump, but I could tell you where. We could dump all the way to here. Hopefully no lower than 80,000. Or we can rise up to here. We're not going to break this downtrend just yet. We're going to still stay down here for a while longer until near the end of the month. Unless something crazy happens, of course. Unpredictable market with this Donald Trump guy. But boy, does he make us gain a lot and lose a lot. So the volatility is there. Trump is the president of volatility at this point. Uptrend is solid. I love it. All-time high of 2024 is likely to not break. I don't want to speak too soon, but it's very likely it will not break. And that is important. So bull run still ongoing. Just got to be patient. By May, we should be good. And before I finish, I do want to show the percentages. This percentage actually increased significantly, but it's dropped by now, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 17%. So we were expecting, before this tariff pause announcement, a much higher percentage over here of a potential rate cut. It was close to like 50-50, right? For the next meeting in May. But now, thanks to Trump announcing this pause on the tariffs, we're not going to expect inflation as much anymore because there will not be much tariffs for 90 days, right? So that probability has been pushed back of a rate cut. Instead, we're looking at it for June, one rate cut, July, another rate cut, nothing in September, October, another rate cut, and nothing in December. So that is 4, right? 1, 2, 3. That's 3. I'm blind. 3 rate cuts this year is what we're expecting instead. Used to be 4, used to be 5, used to be 4. We're back down to 3. So it's still fine. Like I think too much rate cuts was not appropriate. I feel like it was still a large number. So I'm fine with what it is right now. 3 rate cuts, sure, that can absolutely work out fine. Like I said, Jerome Powell, I don't think is playing politics. He's just waiting for that economic data. We will be getting some tomorrow, Thursday, 8:30, core inflation. That's going to be important. And Friday, PPI. So you should be looking out for those. They will have an impact on these percentages. Might bring some short-term volatility toward the market around 8:30 when those stats, that data gets announced. So keep your eyes peeled for that. There you go. 82,396 Bitcoin. All right. That's where we're ended. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe. I'll see you.